What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, everybody? So I just wanted to go over a quick, just like a little rundown of what's going on in the market. I know that we've been a little bit quiet. We've just been trying to get next wave done and everything like that. So without further ado, let me just go ahead and jump into this. So DXY has been pushing to the downside, and now it's just going basically in consolidating markets. Although it does look like it could potentially go bullish, and it looks like there might be even an inverted head and shoulders going on right here. So who knows, maybe we won't even get price to come back down to this buy box, but that's still my my idea on it. Let me get rid of all this because I'm not looking at this any longer. But like I mentioned, I do see a potential, if I could find it, inverted head and shoulders going on right here. So you have the left shoulder, head, right shoulder. So watch out for that potentially for price to continue going bullish. But again, I am still looking for price to come down to at least this buy box before continuing to the upside. But it could definitely play out. So yeah, that is it for the DXY, what I'm seeing on here. Same thing for Euro USD. I'm still in this buy trade. Price has gone up a total of 77 pips. And so let me get rid of this because that's something that I was looking at personally. And same thing, there might be a head and shoulders that might be playing out on Euro USD. So if you are still in this trade, you might, you know, like I said, just the other day, like I mentioned, to take some partial profits, because this does look like it could play out and price can just continue falling to the downside instead of going back up here, or it could just, you know, retrace back down here, then continue going to the upside. But regardless, just know that there is a potential head and shoulders playing out. Okay, that's for Euro USD. AUD USD price, as I mentioned on Tuesday, this was the play from down here. Price had gone over here to hit its targets. AUD USD, it still looks like it could potentially go higher to the upside. I'm not really looking at it to drop unless, let me go look on the 1 hour time frame real quick. Yeah, it doesn't really look like anything to tell me that price is going to keep falling to the downside. Daily candle, there's just been, like, it's just been going to the upside this whole week. So, yeah, just going according to. So, that is for AUD USD. USHEF, it stalked me out and then it dropped down low, unfortunately. So, I'm out of this trade, unfortunately. But, yeah, overall, hold on. Let me delete all this stuff. And usually my rule is if I get stopped out of a trade, I don't try to get back in unless I see some type of other price action patterns going on or something like that, that I could be like, okay, then yeah, I'll try to get in. So as of right now, I'm just being patient on USHEF, but I do want to see it again push to the downside and then continue going bullish. This was for a potential entry if price had came back up here. If I look at the daily time frame, it's just like, again, price is just consolidating at this point. So price might flag out and then eventually just keep pushing to the upside. So I'm still watching for USHEF. VIX had dropped down lower. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I did try to get into a SPX 500 trade and I took an L off of that. But it was a small loss, you know. I knew that it was a very risky trade, so I'm like, I'm just gonna take it. It's gonna be a $40 loss. It is what it is. So with the VIX, like I mentioned, it was just whatever. It just kept pushing to the downside. It's leaving a wick right now, but I don't trust that. S&P, like I said, I took like this sell opportunity. I tried it out, ended up getting wrecked, and price made a higher high, which was what I was warning about. And so Dow Jones is still down over here. If you're in this trade, I don't recommend you stay in it, especially after seeing this daily candle like that. I highly recommend that you don't stay in this trade if you are trying to sell it. And NASDAQ, like I mentioned, I was not getting in it for a reason. Look, it's just creating higher highs. It's making all-time highs, so that's the reason why I mentioned I'm not going to try to trade NASDAQ at all. So, Tacos has played out perfectly, man. From the swing, the push to the downside, everything on Tacos played out perfectly. I didn't get in anything, unfortunately. Price even came up to hit 20.66104, where I was looking to get into a sell off of the supply zone, and price just moved down nicely. So if you were able to capitalize off of Tacos, then congrats to you. And so right now, again, what I'm looking for on Tacos is for price to come down on over to 19.94323, and then once price gets once price gets down to over there, then I would start looking for buy opportunities on Tacos. So let me go ahead and mark this off for myself. Gonna go ahead and put a buy box. There we go. And so this is what I'm looking for on USD Mexican. Unfortunately, like I said, I wasn't able to get into that. So it is what it is. Let's go on to gold. Gold. So gold ended up rejecting off of this high right here that I made with this flag, right? So this bearish flag, price came up and rejected off of there. But I am still watching if gold is gonna indeed just keep falling, because if it rejected here, then I'm only gonna expect it to come down here. I'm not gonna try to trade off of it. If we go on to the 1 hour time frame, there might be some people who might measure this play out from this low to this high. Price came to the 61.8, rejected off of it. It's a nice play. I would have been at break even up here and taking some partial profits maybe. So, but for me personally, this isn't the play. I would have to see price either go bullish to retrace like how I wanted to do. Go up to 1863 like how I wanted to, or just, it keeps falling to the downside. Rejected off of this demand zone pretty nicely, but still just moving sideways right now. So I'm not really interested in gold. Bitcoin. So price did indeed push to the downside. Gave this long wick. I thought it was gonna hit 27,000. Unfortunately, it didn't. But it still made that low. I think that this is gonna possibly take off, guys. Like, look, big wick, push to the upside with big volume. Like, you can't beat that. I'm really expecting price to push to the upside. So what I'm really trying to look for on Bitcoin right now is, so I saw that this bullish play played out nicely, but this is not what I wanted to see necessarily. It's more of what I wanted to see, and that played out nicely. What I wanted to see was, okay, price come down over here, because if I go into the daily time frame, or not even daily, the 4 hour time frame, when I see those highs, especially, and I also see that the 4 hour 50 EMA hasn't been broken through yet, we can still see that price can come down to these lows of 30,000 and then continue to the upside. Hold on, let me do something real quick. There you go. And keep going up to the upside. But I am definitely loving that volume off of when price dropped to the downside. And that spring, like Peyton's been talking about with that Wyckoff, that might have been it right there. I love seeing that high volume right there. I love it. So going on to Ripple. Ripple bounced off of that 54 cents, 55 cents, and if you bought right here, you should be in profits. And same thing kind of applies here with Bitcoin. When like I compared to Bitcoin from this low, I could still see the possibility of price coming right back down. So if you didn't get in here, there still is a possibility for price to come back down, to be like, all right, I'm gonna give you another chance, right? So wait for that. Don't try to get into positions right here. I would have suggested at least. And so yeah, Litecoin likewise came down to 120.72. So came back to that previous entry that we had, and so yeah, same thing. Like I mentioned, If price gets to these levels, I'm going to buy them. Same thing with the high volume. I love seeing that. Ethereum came down to 1745.61, which is one of the 3 targets that I had mentioned that if price keeps falling down, that you should be looking to get into. So that's one for Ethereum right there. Possibility of it all coming down to these lows still definitely exists. Don't get me wrong. But again, with that high volume that I saw, it's encouraging for a price to push up to the upside. So, it's going over to GPUSD. I missed this so hard. I was looking at it, and I was like, I'm going to wait a little bit. Price wicked 1.400 perfectly, and it dropped to the downside. If you would have gone into that trade, you would be currently up about... Well, price moved a total of 112 pips, but you'll be up 93 pips right now. So, that's solid right there. And so, yeah, like GU is moving accordingly, and I think it's just going to continue going to the downside, but it could potentially come back up again. So I'm going to be watching for those potential entries, but not right now, not this week. GA, like I had mentioned, I wanted to see what price was going to do at the supply zone, and indeed price dropped. Payton had made a play on this, and it basically played out perfectly. Except I think his entry might have got like literally stopped out like by 1 pip, I think, or something like that. And that is just disheartening. And that just happens every once in a while, you know? But yeah, so GA pushed to the downside. I will look for that retracement because I'm seeing prices broken this structure. Oops, sorry about that. I'm seeing that price has broken this structure right here. So naturally, what I would want to see is a retracement up to my 71% and then continuation to the downside. GBP JPY. So I had indeed, remember I had mentioned that I'm like, okay, price can retrace up to this high, or it could retrace up to this high right here. So if I would have made it for this high, price is still in the like buy area, you know, like you could sell area. Like it's not terrible, but I missed it personally, but this was perfect if you would have hit it on the 78.6, like basically zero drawdown. But price is still in a buy area, so just know that sell area. Sorry, price is still in the sell area. So if you're still looking to sell GBPJPY for a swing, not for an intraday, for a swing, as in like this can take up to next week, you still have the possibility to get in, but you're just gonna have not that great of a risk reward. You know, I'd rather wait to see a possibility of price coming back up to 154.668 and then a continuation to the downside. You know, that's what I'm looking for personally on GJ. And then Euro GBP, I was able to get into this swing opportunity. I'll show you guys I'll show you guys what I did. So I was trying to get this entry right here, but then I got hit at break even. Price dropped lower. And then when it made this bullish move to the upside, retracement, just like how Payton taught me, right? So drop, push to the upside, retest, continuation. That's basically how I played it. It played out perfectly. And so I'm in this trade. I'm holding my positions because I was able to get in 2 positions right here. But overall, I'm trying to hold it for a swing because if you guys see, this is still the same setup that I was talking about. That price came down to the 71%, and I want to take price to the upside for a swing. So I got myself a good entry. I'm gonna hold it and see where it takes me, and that's for EG, and that's for everything else. I mean, I remember I did an analysis for somebody on Euro AUD, and I just wanted to check it out because I don't trade Euro AUD, but I just wanted to see what it was. Okay, it looks like price would have stopped you out if you would have tried to sell this, and then price came right back down. That's disheartening. Although, actually no, because that's not disheartening, because you would have sold right here, pushed to the downside. Your break even would have been at 1.57133. Yeah, never mind. And then you would have got hit at break even. So never mind. That would have been a semi-successful trade. You know, you would have been able to get your pips. You could have taken profits. but it wouldn't have hit like where I wanted it to go overall. But you would have still been able to make some type of money off of that. So I just remembered it today. I don't know what made me think of EA, but yeah. So that's all I want. That's all I wanted to do. Y'all just hop on here and give you guys a little rundown because, like I said, I know we've been quiet, and it's because we've been hustling. So.